Okay, in today's video we're having a look at the strip down of four rotators from a customer, just to show what's inside and what needs to be done on each individual unit. So there's four, you can see there's over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all Emotator 1200 rotators. There's some old ones and new ones, so it will be a bit of a surprise to see what versions we have. Well, let's get started. Start making a lot of a noise, I suppose, and see how bad these things really are. They've been sitting, I believe, one was being used, I believe, and they've been sitting, I'll talk, and they've been sitting for a while by the looks of the dust on them, so off to a good start. That one there didn't want to come out. That's got a lot of electrolysis, I would say. Maybe I should have used the other one, other impact gun. Wow. Yep, there's a bit of electrolysis in that. You can see there's, we can't focus on that. Yeah, it's actually got a bit of electrolysis on that one. Okie dokie. Oh, gee whiz. Maybe I should have brought a tapometer down. I brought every other tool, but I forgot to bring a tapometer, hammer in other words, or knockometer, just to get this started to move. I have a guess the grease in this is the original grease by the feels of this. Holy dooly! Try and turn it, lift it up. This is going to be a surprise. There we go. Ugh. Bit of a manky mess. Oh. There's a very, very dry mess actually. Very dry. I'll put this on the side. Bearings, as you can see, are really dry. Normally when I pull these apart, they are basically all gooed up with the original grease that they use. This one may have been serviced at some time in its life, possibly, maybe. That's really interesting. Some of these bearings are in better condition than other ones. Some are shiny and some are not. But the bottom track is really dry. And looking up into here, that's really dry as well. So get these all out of here. This hasn't been touched for years. Okay, let's turn him over. Let's see if we can remove the top hat. Oh. See if we can remove the top housing. Ugh. Pretty bad when you got to hammer off the top housing. Ugh. Holy dooly. Oh. There we go. Ugh. Okay, turn it back over again. Oh, here we go. Yeah, yep, original grease. There you are. There's bearings stuck on the top. You can't get them out. So just to show you how manky this grease is, this is a bent screwdriver I've got here. Look at that. They actually stick to the actual screwdriver. That's how bad this grease is. This is the original grease. You're going to pop them out. Bloody. And this is like that there. That's that part there, which was grease at some stage. I've got to put a fair bit of force onto these to get these apart. Oh, God, Rocky, come out of there. Must remember to keep the thing within the screen of the camera. Oh, cracky diamonds. Up in the top doesn't look too bad, but the rest of it, around the gears, is looking really crap. Stop putting shadows everywhere as well. Well, that was a bit easier. Yeah. Okay, put that aside. Get down the road because I've got heaps of rotators sitting here. So as you can see, the smell in here is yuck. But yeah, that's this grease. If I put my finger in here, I could probably nearly hold up the bloody, and it's so sticky. It's really, really dry. And here's a really good blob of it, just in here. I'm pushing against that to try and get it off. That is yuck. Terminology, toffee would be a good terminology for that. There, that's yuck. Put that aside. Okay, let's have a look at this is an early version. Look at the bearings in the back again, because there's a couple of bearings on it. Some bearings stuck to it. Off you go. Now all the bearings are gone. Now, as I said, the swing bar has been greased as they normally do, which is not the thing to do. So eventually this would have got into one section like that, as in when I hit the limit end stops. Actually, hasn't been set up very well. Probably can't see that. When it hits the end stop, the actual activator of the micro switch deactivates. Actually not even activating. Yeah, it wouldn't have actually. The limit switch is not. This limit switch is not working. It's just not set up properly. That one there, this one is only just working. Okay. Being the fact I can tell this is an early version because this is the actual potentiometer down inside here underneath this gear, and we're going to get into removing this anyway. So what we shall do. We'll probably just get this whole top section out in one go. Let's see how they have these. As you can see, this grease is yuck. I will be stripping this all the way down, so, and then I won't be showing me cleaning it up and the time it takes to do that because I want to strip the other ones down at the same time. Oh, look at that. Sticky, 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 sticky. Oh, how did I miss those two bearings? There's two bearings sitting on here still. Missed them, didn't I? Get out of the road. Righty-righty. What a sticky mess is in here. So, what I'd better do is I need to cut this cable tie to get that. Forgot to bring the cutters. Cut this cable tie so I can actually get the potentiometer wires, potentiometer out, and all the wiring in one go without having to desolder anything. I'll have to I'll have to cut this one. Oh, it's in a different location. I might just cut this one here. Have a little tab there for myself. Righty-righty. I'm showing you what I'm doing. Okay, just getting the wiring out of the road. I've actually just there's a cable tie here, and I just cut that off and leave a bit left on there. It was actually wrapped around the back there. It should come down through there. Not a problem. Okay, well, we'll continue on. I have to get this top plate off what I'll do is I might actually turn it upside down and stick it back in the top here temporarily, and we shall get the actual motor off. That way it's not damaging all those gears and stuff at the top. So let's see if we can get this all off here now. Okay. That was actually a little bit loose, that was. For the rattle gun not to rattle. That doesn't want to come off. No rattling at all. That one's tight. That one is really tight. Looks like someone's tried to take that off before. Okay. This is not good. Okay. This is going to need to be... because these are only a brass screw too as well. And that one doesn't want to cooperate, so what I'll do, the angle's probably not helping. See if we can get across here. Get a bit more force. Working around the camera doesn't help either. I'll probably replace those. Okay. Up comes the motor and the BK spring brake system. Okay, the shaft is actually turning. Brake is actually activating, but the shaft is actually turning as well. It's not how it's meant to work. So I'll have to strip that down. I might strip it down right now. Why not? Let's get the. Didn't bring all the tools to do that. I'll just get a screwdrivers. I didn't get myself very organised this morning. So basically, in here there's two of these push nuts. And you've got to sort of separate them to try and get them apart, or try and get them off together. Work your way around. Hopefully not watch them fly through the... I'll try and get yourself in the view of the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So just basically work your way around. It is best to try and separate them. There we are, I finally separated it. And you basically work your way around. Just a slow process. It's much easier when you can separate them. These push nuts hold quite well. I'll keep this thing within the view of the camera. There's one push nut. Basically like an internal star with a, you can't really see it, it's a raised section and it holds pressure. So there's one. And we get the next one, working around. Just a time consuming thing to get this off. If you put too much force on them, you can actually break them, and try and replace these with exactly the right one that they were using. I don't want to be doing that, trying to find something else. Probably got spares here, but you don't want to break them if you can help it. The last thing you want to do is have it fly across the workshop. So just get your fingers above it. This one's being a bit harder to get off. Oh my god. Oh yeah, there he is. He was actually on upside down, I think. Okay. Ugh. That should come off really easily. Okay, so we'll have to just undo this, undo the BK drum. Let's see if I can actually lift the pinion up. The whole thing's... the grease has gone off, obviously, and the BK pinion is actually grabbed Can I still get it? I can lever it off as well. If I can get underneath it. Oh yeah. Dear me. Okay. I have moved it. Gee whiz. This whole rotator should have been serviced at least twice in this bloody lifetime. This leaving rotator is just so bloody long. This is what happens. The brake will stop working properly. I can't even grab that. Pretty bad when you've got a star washer. That was on the bottom. Pretty bad when you've got to physically lever it off. It should not spin free, this. That shows you how bad this grease is. Doesn't look as much on there, but if I try to push it back on again, look, it turns the shaft. Okay, that's out. Let's get the BK spring out. Get the hob off. Remove the BK spring. Okay. Yeah, there's a few holes we can't tell. Let me clean that up later on, we'll know more about that. Okay. At least the BK rotor, this little dude here, the butterfly, BK rotor, he looks to be okay. Hasn't slipped down, but that will be reset anyway. So well, there's the motor out, which I put him. What I'll do is I'll put him with all this stuff. And before I lose them, I might just grab these little suckers. They're still on there. Get them off here. The grease has actually got those. The grease goes down everywhere on this stuff, so I'll just sit that in there with the rest of these. Alrighty. Maybe there and we've got more parts to do. Okay. Back to the disassemble job. There wait one righter. Okay, let's get the bottom plate off. This is the base plate or the base gearbox plate, motor plate, mount plate. Oh, that's not a hammer gun. That's why this is being a hard time. I wonder why it was having a hard time doing these, but not. Let's see how hard it is to get this plate off. Yeah, my God. Too bad when you've got to lever things off. Okay, there's one spacer. Don't want to lose that. Oh, gee, that's jammed on there. Look at the grease around that. It's just gone off. That just stabbed my finger. Get all the gears into another container. I can go with that. But that is pretty manky. Pop it down with the gears. Let's see if the gears will come out. Haha! This should be interesting. Not. No, the gears not going to come out either. Just a little bit of pressure. Oh yeah, look at that. Look. Carry on. There's actually an adapter here at the top. Not an adapter. A spacer. I'm not putting any pressure on the actual gears. I'm trying to lift it straight up. Oh, that shows you how sticky it is. Yuck. I'll push the shaft down. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this should have been serviced no later than 5 to 10 years after it got purchased. That's why this grease is gone. Grease does not last forever, especially this grease. This grease, I would have replaced it after 5 years. This grease is absolutely terrible. These all should slide off here. We haven't got to leave it up with the daylights out of everything like that. Most of the grease is actually a bit wet there, but that's about all. Now can we get the so we can get a shaft out? Can't even move the shafts. So I can grab this last gear. The shaft may come with it. Yep, the shaft has just come with it. Look how stringy and sticky that grease is like that. This is one of the early versions which has the two-part gear in here. We can't see, there's a little I suppose you call them a split bush, I would probably call it. This is how they did them in this version. And the later version they did a completely different setup, a much better setup. This setup wasn't as good. I can't even get that to come apart. So I can stab my finger again. Holy dolly. There we go. So they come in two halves. That's the way the gears were manufactured. This gear was actually manufactured in one piece. So when they cut down here, they can't cut any further than this gear here, so that ends up being a taper out, and this has to go into that area there, in that area there, and be straight. So what they do is they cut the gear normally down to here, and then they cut it out and they put this in. Now that's this version. The later versions they actually made it in two pieces and welded it together. Much better, because the whole system was just a lot better. Just way better. Let's see if I can get this shaft out of here. There we go. Right, wipe my hands again. Now, let's see if we can get this other shaft out. It's obviously not going to come out. So we'll undo the top plate. Oh, help if I actually plug the actual battery in, would have been a good idea. This shaft should come out with the this plate, hopefully. Let's see if I can get the plate out. Oh god, it's stuck as well. Get your fingers down inside here. See if I can lift this out. It doesn't want to come out. Being it's so recessed, get your screwdriver down in here. Get down that way then. Everything is a bit. Okay. Now we've got all that off. Might go back the other way. Try and work from the other way. Okay, let's get the limit plate off. And this has the pot on it in this version. The later versions didn't. They were separate. Okay, there's the actual. Okay, so this is not moving very much. Doesn't seem much wear on it, so which is good. That makes contact up in here. Makes contact with one of these points, depending on where you're setting it at. Okay. Get this out of here. Let's see. Limit switches actually work, but they won't get activated by the. Put that with the motor. Now, let's see. I'm actually hitting that shaft to try and get it out. It ain't moving. Bloody hell. Get this shaft out. So I can get underneath the start of it moving. How much force I'm putting on this. This is probably going to slip in a second. I'm probably going to have on this. Whoops, that's not where I want to go. If I slip, I'm going to hit the camera. Leaving up on this. Holy dooly. This shaft is. One shaft out, one manky gear. Let's see if I can do the same thing again with this one. Get underneath it, maybe. Get underneath the circlet if I can. Oh, jeez, H. Tap it a bit. See, you shouldn't have to do this. Right, I've moved it. Let's see if we can get underneath it again. Gee, crikey, Donis. Yeah, okay. This is not going to plan. That is so tight. I'm about to lose an arm or finger or something in a minute. This is ridiculous. Oh, it's gradually moving. Tight. Well, that was the circuit that went flying. There he is. Like I heard where it hit, just popped the circuit right off. That shows how much force I've had to put on that to get that off. And I still haven't got it out. Okay. I don't normally like using pliers to grab it, but we don't have much option. I'll try and grab him at the very top and see if I can actually rotate it. It's turning the gear. Bloody hell. Okay, have to get a bigger punch. Again, something else I don't like doing is using. Okay, part 2. I had a battery go flat on me, so I was just about to try and get this final shaft out, and I've had to go to a punch to try and move it because it is. That shows how much force I'm putting on that. I've got to hammer it out. I'm going to go too far. It's almost hastening out. Okay. Alright, so now the top wants to come out. Look at that. I've got to try and get that separated too. There's that gear. Another mess. Let's see if I can actually get this shaft out now. Right, shaft gone. I'm going to have to get this one off because I've got to clean underneath this. That's an exercise in itself. So first thing first, I'll see if I can get this shaft out of here. Hey, crikey, Donners. Okay, let's put that aside. So, hope this battery lasts a bit longer. I'm charging the other one. So, this push nut is a, I don't know how to put it politely, it's a pain in the bum, basically. Or any other word you want to use. I need to get another screwdriver because that one is a bit small. You've got to really work around, and sometimes you can get underneath the actual swing bar itself. Move it up a little bit just to start it. That's what I'm doing. Underneath the actual swing bar, and we just lever it up with this hook screwdriver I've got here. Get it started. So you really got to work your way around this bloody thing. It has to come out because, well, again, must turn this camera down a bit more. So it's very hard to work behind a camera. Okay, so I've started to move it. Not even so I'll do a bit more on this. The leverage on this thing is not the best. I made this. It could have had a bit less angle on it. Length like that there. This point here could have been a lot shorter. But whatever, I made it for years and years ago. I'm using it now to get things like this apart. Okay, so we got the actual thing started. Now underneath it, we can work to either side. Just that went straight to my finger. They are just horrendously hard to get off, but it's got to come off. You do not put grease underneath this. This should just swing free, metal on metal, won't hurt it. Putting grease there is not good. Number one, it slows it down. Hey, we got it. It's amazing. And they piled a fair bit of grease in here. You can see it's actually stuck up in there. I'll put that in there with that one there. And look, even when that's up there, that should swing free and go tink, tink, tink. It should go whack, whack, whack on there. Come off. Okay. That has to be all cleaned up. Okay. There's one done. One strip down.